The Tampa Bay Bucs go on the road this weekend to take on their NFC South division rival Carolina Panthers. BETDAQ currently has Tampa installed as a 1-point favorite in this game, 49 is a total. These are two teams headed in opposite directions. Tampa has won 4 out of the last 5 games. They're now 5-4. Offensively, they've been as good as any team in the NFL recently. I mean, what has happened to this team on offense? Before the bye, the 4 games they played before the bye, they were not impressive offensively. But since then, in their 5 games, they're 4-1. In all 4 of their wins, they've scored 34 points or more. In their 1 loss against New Orleans, they scored 28 points in that game and moved the ball up and down the field. So I don't know what's gotten into this offense. Clearly, the offseason acquisition of Vincent Jackson paying huge dividends in the passing game. Not only has he made a lot of big plays himself, but he's really opened things up for Mike Williams on the other side. Mike Williams had been the #1 wide receiver in Tampa for the last couple of years, and now he's seeing more single coverage than he's used to, so he's having a great year. Josh Freeman having a great year after a bad year last year. But the real story for this Tampa offense has been the emergence of rookie running back Doug Martin. You talk about balance. This guy has given this offense balance and then some. All the talk has been about the rookie quarterbacks, Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin III, but Doug Martin is making a very compelling case for Rookie of the Year, and he's a big reason this Tampa offense has been so explosive here over the last few weeks. Now, Tampa does have a clear weakness, and that is pass defense. They cannot stop teams from throwing the football. Tampa's allowing 321 pass yards per game right now. 321 pass yards per game. That is worse than the NFL. But Carolina, Cam Newton's having such a bad year, they haven't been able to get their offense going against anybody. I mean, I thought when the Carolina Panthers played Washington 2 weeks ago, a game they actually won. They've only won 2 games all year. They're 2-7, but they beat Washington a couple of weeks ago. And I thought that was going to be the game that finally that Carolina offense broke out, because the Redskins have real trouble in the secondary. But they couldn't break out in that game. I believe they only scored 21 points in that game. So I don't know. I think if you're waiting for the Carolina offense to explode and look more like the offense we saw last year, it might be a long wait, because 9 games into the season, they look nothing like that offense. 27th in the NFL in points scored right now. And really, I don't have much faith in Carolina. They seem to be unraveling not only as a team but as an organization. Marty Hurney, their general manager, fired a few weeks ago. That means Ron Rivera is on the hottest seat in the NFL, because whoever they bring in as a new GM is most likely going to want to hire his own guy as head coach. He's not going to want to keep Ron Rivera on, especially after Ron Rivera went 6-10 last year in his first year. Having trouble talking here for some reason. He went 6-10 last year in his first year, and he's 2-7 through 9 games. Unless Carolina can dramatically turn it around, I doubt whoever they bring in as GM is going to want to keep Ron Rivera around. Will the new GM and new coach want to keep Cam Newton around? Cam Newton has had big turnover problems last season and this season, and his turnovers have been a big reason, maybe the biggest reason, for all of Carolina's losses this season and their 10 losses last season. So for all he does, that is great, and we know that Cam Newton has the potential to be as explosive, as good as any offensive player in football. But they cannot win with him turning the ball over as much as he has been this year, and he knows it, or you'd think he knows it. But I'm not sure if a new coach, a new general manager is going to want to embrace Cam Newton as their franchise quarterback going forward. So who knows what we might see in Carolina. Might see total upheaval there in the offseason. And they're playing like it. This team is not impressive. Got blown out last week against the Denver Broncos. 1-4 against the spread at home this year. The only thing stopping me from fully endorsing Tampa in this game is the line. Really, this game, the line feels funny to me here. Tampa's only a 1-point favorite. It feels like you're being baited to bet on Tampa Bay. I mean, listen, odds makers, guys that set these lines, they're not idiots. They know that when somebody sees a 5-4 team who's won 4 out of the last 5 games taking on a 2-7 team who seems to be a disaster, and the 5-4 team's only a 1-point favorite, a lot of people are going to say, well, maybe I'll go ahead and bet on the obviously better team. I mean, it seems like an obvious play, and maybe it's just my gambler sickness. Maybe I'm just reading too much into that, but I've been burned in things like this too many times. It seems like in sports gambling, when things look too good to be true, they usually are. And maybe Tampa -1. I don't know if it looks quite too good to be true, but it does look pretty good. I mean, the Bucs have been playing good football. Carolina has not been playing good football at all. Even their win a couple of weeks ago against Washington was not impressive. So I lean towards Tampa here, but again, my gambler sickness might get me to stay away from this game because I don't know. Something about this one feels fishy. Tampa only a 1-point road favorite in Carolina, but hey, there you have it. I lean towards Tampa, but I guess it's not a strong lean. Best of luck to you, whatever you decide to do in this game.